This morning, 2 workers are still missing at Longview's Nippon Dynawave facility. On Friday, crews recovered a 7th body. In total, 11 people are confirmed dead or presumed dead. Tomorrow, flags across Washington will be at half-staff in their honor. We now know the names of 5 people who were killed: Gilbert Bernal, Braden Finkus, Dale Miller, Jared Ammons, and John Forsberg. Authorities are calling the blast the deadliest industrial tragedy in modern state history. The sister of Dale Miller tells King 5 the 54-year-old father and grandfather who loved motorcycles and playing pool recently moved back home to care for his aging mother. 5 days after the chemical implosion, rescue crews say they remain committed to bringing families closure. They say the site is still an active and hazardous blast zone.
As you know, this is a complex incident, right? There's a lot of barriers that we've had to get past. We just work through them. I think that's our goal, is to just get past them.
Now, to help the families impacted by the implosion, members of the Longshoremen's Federal Credit Union are fundraising. They say they feel a responsibility to help the tight-knit community.
We have a member that actually was thrown by the blast and knocked out, and if it wasn't for one of his buddies dragging him to safety, he would have died. His feet were harmed in the incident, and so that hit really close to home when he came in yesterday.
They are not the only ones helping out. The Shamrock Bar and Grill is hosting a fundraiser next weekend, June 7th, donating 20% of its sales to victims' families. The bar's co-owner says many of their customers work in the paper industry. Now, a big question still hangs in the air. What caused the giant storage tank to implode? The King 5 investigators have been talking with experts and one man who has worked in this dangerous industry. Here's what Chris Ingalls found.
We do have some idea of what investigators might be looking into as they search for answers here. And we also have a first-hand account from a man who worked with white liquor, the chemical that's claimed so many lives.
250 miles upriver from the site of Tuesday's tragedy, on the banks of the Columbia in central Washington, sits the Packaging Corporation of America paper plant.
Well, I mean, you're dealing with hydrochloric acid, you're dealing with sulfuric acid.
Mickey Deering worked at PCA doing the exact same job, known as kraft pulping.
It is dangerous. This stuff can eat your skin, melt your skin.
As workers at the Nippon Dynawave plant in Longview, several of whom died from chemical burns in Tuesday's accident.
Since you were so close to that kind of work, I just assume that sort of might have struck you differently than the average person.
No, it does, because you work with these people. I mean, and you know the dangers. It's unfortunate, and I feel for the families.
Deering was among 200 workers laid off in February when PCA shut down kraft pulping operations at its Tri-Cities area plant. But, like experts we spoke to who did not want to appear on camera, he called the implosion of such a large tank highly unusual.
I mean, it was hard for me to understand what happened, because it almost seems like there has to be some kind of suction that was created, like something was blocked that made it implode, within itself. I don't know if it was a temperature problem inside the tank. It could have been an operator error. It was how many gallons was going in, how many gallons was going out. I don't understand, how there was not any warning signs that tank was, there was a problem inside that tank.
He wonders if there was a ventilation or a flow valve that got stuck, some kind of weakness in the tank, or a maintenance issue perhaps. These kind of tanks require regular maintenance and inspections. These are all things that we expect investigators are looking into in their search for answers. I'm Chris Ingalls in the King 5 newsroom.
Now, environment officials say the air around the facility and drinking water in Longview are both safe. Although some containments did leak into ditches near the Columbia, those ditches have since been diluted and the river is safe for fishing and recreation. They are still asking people and pets to stay out of the water in those ditches near the site to be safe.